This is KSL Sports Live, broadcasting from the Mountain Home Services studios.
Thanks for staying up with us. How far did BYU fall in the top 25? A bold prediction from Chase Roberts is coming up.
Yeah, the Utah Mammoth wrap up their long road trip in Ottawa. Kind of a controversial third period call there as well. And tickets are punched to Rice-Eccles in the state football playoffs. We have all of that on the way. Well, how much of a reflection is the AP poll to the college football playoff rankings? Last week, BYU was ranked 8th in the AP. They debuted 7th in the CFP. Well, after yesterday's loss to Texas Tech, BYU did slide a bit in the AP rankings, the Cougars falling 4 spots to number 12 in those rankings. After that 29-7 loss to Texas Tech, the Cougars have 3 games left, beginning at home on Saturday against TCU. The Utes enjoyed a bye to get healthy, and in the process move up 2 spots in the AP poll to number 15. They have a road game on Saturday at Baylor. All right, so with the outcome of Saturday's games, Texas Tech is in the top spot in the Big 12 standings. BYU still control of their own destiny. If the Cougars win out against TCU, Cincinnati, UCF, they're in even moments after BYU's loss. They believe that this will actually happen.
Are you hoping to see this team again here in a few weeks?
Yeah, of course, yeah. No, you always want to play the best, and especially when you feel like you left a lot out there. So we're going to meet them again, promise you that. And we're going to go beat them.
A bold declaration from Chase Roberts. We love to hear that. Sly with a bold outfit tonight here on KSL Sports Live. We love it. Always dresses for success.
Got to.
And you're here to talk about this BYU game. Mm-hmm. Look, it was not great, especially offensively. BYU fans are a little down right now. Can you lift them up a little bit? Can you help them out?
I'm not normally the guy that want to do that. But as a fan of football and just seeing the situation, all I can say is don't panic. Right now is just not the time to panic. You've done exactly what you were supposed to do, right? You've won 8 straight games. You set yourself up to give yourself a mulligan. This is completely, like I'm telling you, as a player, 10 a.m. games suck. I didn't even like watching it at 10 a.m., right? And so, let alone playing it, getting ready to warm up, you had to get ready probably at 4 a.m. to get ready for a 10 o'clock game. So that's not going to happen again this season, but don't panic. You're still in the driver's seat. You can still control your own destiny. You got 2 games at home, 1 game on the road, TCU, Cincinnati, UCF. But that defense played great last night. It was just like the Utah versus Tech game. It kept you in the game for the most part, but they couldn't hold up the entire time. And Texas Tech kind of put on the points in the fourth quarter. So again, I would say don't panic. The offense didn't look like they had rhythm, and again, that may be the time of the game. That may be the buildup of that game. So many outside things to worry about. What I do know is I saw BYU early this season. They didn't look like that. That's not the team that they want to be, and Chase Roberts just showed it. That's not the team we are. We know we can be better than that. Plus, the biggest thing for me, experience, right? You got experience in all kinds of tough games before this. Now you got experience playing a top-tier opponent. You know exactly what it's going to be like. Because if you do go into the CFP, you're going to get against top-tier opponents, and you want to know how to handle those situations and prepare for it, and I think they will.
You're such a BYU homer.
So let's talk about the Utes for a little bit for you, Sly. Let's heal that heart a little bit, right? They had the nice week off. They got to get healed up and freshened up, but now they've got Baylor coming up this weekend. What do they got to do to knock off Baylor and get these last 3 games?
Very simple. Play Utah football. Right? Run the football, play great defense. Honestly, for me, when you look at Baylor, all it is Sawyer Robertson. From their special teams, defense, and offense, Sawyer Robertson. You handle Sawyer Robertson, you do exactly what you need to do. Sawyer Robertson is the key. Just like you did Sorsby and Salter, do Sawyer Robinson the same way. Yeah. Get around him, bother him, get this defense, get after him, get him off the field, and you're great.
And that's exactly what they've been doing outside of BYU and
play
Texas
great
Tech
defense.
Games. Absolutely. Yeah. And even in the Texas Tech game, they got after Morton. So, Sly, thanks. Can't wait for this coming weekend.
Clayton Keller says, I'll do it myself. And he ties the game.
Hot start to the season. The Utah Mammoth have suddenly cooled off. Could they end the road trip with a win in Ottawa?
Just show the best of what we have for them. And then watching that happen is super rewarding.
KSL Sports sits down with Ryan and Ashley Smith. An exclusive conversation you can only see here. Why did they decide to go all in on an NHL team here in Utah? They tell us coming up.
And a new college hoops season has tipped off this week. What stood out in week 1? Plus, local teams had a chance to earn spots in the NCAA soccer tournament. And the matchups are set for the semifinals at Rice-Eccles Stadium. And we know who will play for state titles in the smaller classifications. High school football playoff action is coming up right after this, and we cannot wait.
You're watching KSL Sports Live.
The Utah Mammoth have played 8 of their last 9 games away from home, and the road trip seems to be wearing on them a little bit right now.
Yeah, you know, after that hot 7-game win streak to start things off, the Mammoth have now dropped 4 of their last 5, and tonight they finally wrap up that East Coast road trip. They do so in the Canadian capital of Ottawa, skating with the Ottawa Senators today. Vitek Vanacek starting in net for the Mammoth on the second of back-to-back games, saved the first 4 shots he faced when the puck pops over Vanacek's shoulder and punched in by Ridley Grieg, 1-0 Senators. Later in the period, Utah on the power play, and as the clock hits zeros on that man advantage, the captain lights the lamp.
Clayton Keller flies in, shoots on a sharp angle, and scores! Clayton Keller says, "I'll do it myself." And he ties the game at 1.
Yeah, that's his 6th of the season, tied at 1 after 1 period of play. The Mammoth outshot the Senators 23-14 through 2 periods, but it was the Senators scoring the goals. Jordan Spence and Nick Cousins both scoring in that second period to help the Senators build a 3-1 lead. But in the final minute of the period, the Mammoth do get one back to keep it close. Nick Schmaltz skates this one in. The Mammoth trailing 2-1 to close out the second period, or 3-2, I mean, to close out the second. It only took 22 seconds in the third period, though, for the Mammoth to make it a tie game.
Right there, they score! On his wallet! Jack McBain, look what I found! We're tied at 3!
Were they? Jack McBain tripped over the side of the net, put it in from his seat, but Ottawa challenged for goaltender interference.
After video review, coach's challenge. 22 from Utah makes incidental contact with the goaltender, therefore there's no goal.
Boo! So it stays 3-2 in favor of the Senators. Moments later, the Senators double the lead. Michael Amadio makes it 4-2. That would be enough. It's enough for all of us. Let's come back home. It's a 4-2 loss. The Mammoth have now dropped 5-6. The bright side, like I said, they get a couple of days off before playing back on home ice Wednesday against the Sabres. 6 of the next 8 will be at Delta Center.
It's unfortunate Boehner went out there and got one for us and called it back, and you know that's just the way it goes sometimes. And you know, it's a tough league. It's there's a lot of good teams out there, and we got to find a way to get back on track and get on a run here.
Well, win or lose, Utah loves its hockey team. The Mammoth have won over this community, and it's all been made possible by the commitment from Ryan and Ashley Smith. What has transpired in the past 18 months is nothing short of remarkable. The move of the team, the financial support, the building of a practice facility in record time. What SCG has done with this franchise has the attention of the NHL and the hockey world, especially the players. In an exclusive interview, Ryan and Ashley spoke with KSL Sports about why they have gone all in on hockey in Utah.
It's just another thing to love together. Like, my favorite thing in the world is the things that my kids and I are passionate about together. Yeah. So it's another set of incredible professional athletes who we get to learn about and hear anecdotes about and dress up as for Halloween or whatever. But then it's just this unifying thing for our family and for neighborhoods and communities. And so personally, it's just this additional joy and exciting thing that is just positive.
We see a little bit of a different view because we're hosting these people into Utah. Mm-hmm. And the daily life and the daily things that if you're from Utah, you probably already integrated, you already know, and we get a chance to kind of shepherd, you know, in the hockey case, it was 70 people, Ash and our team, we literally walked into a ballroom in Scottsdale, Arizona 18 months ago, and we're like, okay, you're all moving to Utah, and they'd never been here. Yeah. They didn't know anything about it, and so trying to curate an experience that is one where they can get integrated into our community in a fast and quick way and actually just show the the best of what we have for them. And then watching that happen is super rewarding.
We found the play of the day in college hoops today. Did you know that the Human Highlight film has a son that also plays at Georgia?
Jake Wilkins! Holy goodness! With a windmill! Oh my God! Alley-oop jam!
Now you know, and you'll remember after this dunk. This is Georgia freshman Jake Wilkins throwing down an early dunk of the year candidate. Yes, he is the son of Dominique Wilkins, the Human Highlight reel. 120-81 the final for Georgia over Morehead State, but that is what we're going to remember most. Utah Tech in action Sunday against Arizona State. Chance Trujillo, the Davis High grad, led the Trailblazers in scoring with 15 points. And here's Tanner Davis from Skyview High School with a backdoor dunk. The Trailblazers put up a good fight in Tempe, only lost the second half by 1 point, but they come up short. They're going to take on Manhattan Wednesday night in Hawaii. Now, one of the most anticipated seasons of college basketball this state has ever seen is now underway.
Yeah, the return of Alex Jensen to the U, the Aggies going for a school record 4th straight NCAA tournament appearance, and of course the Cougars with their highest preseason ranking in 60 years. The 8th-ranked Cougars opening the season Monday night down in Vegas against Villanova, and A.J. DeBonsa scored 21 points in his collegiate debut and a 5-point BYU win. And then on Saturday night, a 45-point win over Holy Cross. 5 BYU players scoring in double figures, led by Richie Saunders, 20 points. The season continues Tuesday night in Provo against Delaware.
Utah's 2-0 to begin the Alex Jensen era, but there wasn't an easy battle this week. After a home win over San Jose State, the Weber State Wildcats had the run in Utah on upset alert. 5 Wildcats were in double figures. They led most of the game, but Utah gets a late 3 from Don McHenry to force overtime. He had 26, and Terrence Brown scored a career-high 36, and Utah escaped with a 92-89 win.
Utah State's also off to a 2-0 start to the season. It began with a 56-point win over Westminster. MJ Collins led the Aggies with 23 points in that win. Then on Friday night, a neutral site win over former Aggie head coach Ryan Odom and VCU down in Dallas. Collins with 22 there. Mason Falstaff had 18. And Gary Clark scored the game-winning bucket with just 15 seconds to go on the offensive rebound. Next up, Weber State on Wednesday.
Utah State soccer playing in the Mountain West Championship against Boise State, tied at 2 after 2 overtimes. We're going to go to PKs. And they call on Taylor Rath. Didn't play a second during the game, but was called on for the PKs, and she stepped up and stopped 2 Boise State attempts. And the Aggies win in PKs to punch their ticket. Utah State wins their 3rd consecutive Mountain West tournament title, and they're going to the NCAA tournament for the 5th time in school history.
The BYU women's soccer team made history on Saturday. They were the first ever 8th seed to win the Big 12 tournament championship. BYU beat number 1 TCU, then 5th seeded Baylor to get to the finals, where they topped Kansas for the title. Ellie Walbrick scored 5 goals in those games. BYU will be making their 26th NCAA tournament appearance. The bracket selection show is tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Utah Valley facing Cal Baptist in the WAC championship. The Wolverines took a 2-0 lead in the 54th minute. Faith Weber scores her 24th goal of the season. That leads the entire country. But Cal Baptist rallied to tie it, and then they forced overtime, and then it went to penalty kicks, and Cal Baptist won 4-3. They win back-to-back WAC titles. UVU has a shot at an at-large bid.
Weber State was playing in the Big Sky Championship Sunday afternoon against top-seeded Montana, a game that went to double overtime. The Wildcats thought they had this won. Look at this video here. The shot's on the right. The clock is up there on the left. And the officials reviewed this video that you're seeing, and they reviewed it correctly, saying that the ball did not cross the goal line before the clock hit 0. It would go to a shootout. In the shootout, Weber would come up short, 4-2. All right, the Utah State Aggies have been slipping and sliding a bit lately in football. Losers in 3 of their last 4. They've dropped to the middle of the pack in the Mountain West Conference standings. Last night, they flushed all those bad memories away pretty darn quick, too. The Aggies scored their first touchdown just 4 snaps into the game against Nevada on a 53-yard pass from Bryson Barnes to Brady Boyd. Barnes finished the game with 288 yards passing, 40 yards rushing, and 3 passing touchdowns. The Aggies outgained Nevada 522-242. They had 3 takeaways in the game, including this 38-yard pick 6 from Brevin Hamblin. And they won the game easily 51-14. So that's the Aggies' 5th win of the season, which means one more win and they become bowl eligible. They have 3 games left to do that. The next 2 are on the road against UNLV and Fresno State, and then they'll wrap up the regular season finale at Maverick Stadium against Boise State that Thanksgiving weekend. 12 teams have made their reservations at Rice-Eccles. Which teams are headed to the state semifinals and the championship matchups? They're all set for Class 3A and below. We have all the highlights coming your way next. Just 8 teams remain in each of Class 4A, 5A, and 6A's football playoff brackets. Davis, they're the 3rd seed in Class 6A.
Led by quarterback Trayden Bessinger, who just announced that he's headed to Iowa for college next year. But will he head to Rice-Eccles Stadium on Friday?
More pressing question. The Davis Darts hosting the Lone Peak Knights. Second half, Lone Peak down by 7. Kepaneo Metolu, he threads it to Keenan Pula. The game's tied at 17, but here comes Davis and Bessinger. Downfield, the Bodie Sparrow. Look at this catch for the 35-yard gain. Then a couple plays later, Bessinger's going to find Isaac Morrison. There's the touchdown in the 24-17 lead. Lone Peak had a chance to tie it up here, but Neu Metolu's pass is picked off in the end zone by Morrison. But still in the final minute of the game, Davis with that 7-point lead. Neu Metolu this time gets it done by running it in. This game goes to overtime, tied at 31. Lone Peak has the ball first in overtime, and they score quickly. Tate Barney from 15 yards out, giving Lone Peak the 38-31 lead as he bowls his way into the end zone. Davis answers with Bessinger's 3rd touchdown pass of the game, this one to Tyson Baggett. And we go to double overtime. This time, Davis has the ball first. They decide to go for it on 4th down instead of the chip shot field goal, and they are stuffed. So Lone Peak just needs the field goal to win it. Jake Barker from 38 yards splits the uprights. Lone Peak is headed back to Rice-Eccles with the 41-38 double OT win.
Harriman was a great story this year. They lost just 1 game all season, but it was a bitter pill to swallow. A rivalry loss to Mountain Ridge last month. On Friday, a rematch, and no love lost between these 2 teams. This time it was at Mountain Ridge, and this time it was in the playoffs. With a trip to Rice-Eccles on the line, it was our Game Night Live game of the week. First quarter, a spectacular catch by Mountain Ridge wideout Cohen Cunningham. What a year he's had. A one-handed grab from Jackson Hunt for the 15-yard touchdown. Mountain Ridge had a 14-0 lead before Harriman would score. Tyler Messer to Gavin Hansen makes it a 1-score game. 4th quarter, Hunt throws his 2nd touchdown pass, this one to Ashton Gates. And for the first time in school history, the Mountain Ridge Sentinels are headed to the turf of Rice-Eccles Stadium.
Mountain Ridge will face the winner between Corner Canyon and Syracuse. The Chargers got out of the gate real quick here. King Cooper with the 12-yard touchdown run. Then Helaman Kasuga caps off a 21-point quarter with an 8-yard score of his own. Tanner Merrill did have one of the best catches of the day to get Syracuse on the board. Look at that grab for the score. But the Chargers, man, they just piled it on. They got the big win, 56-14.
Skyridge and American Fork, the winner meets Lone Peak next week. The Falcons beat the Cavemen in this regular season finale. And Friday, it was no different. Keneal Sweetwine threw 4 touchdown passes. Talmadge Oswald, he caught 3 of them. This one 70 yards. He had 9 catches, 204 yards and 3 touchdowns. Skyridge blows out AF. They'll play Lone Peak in the semifinals at Rice-Eccles on Friday.
The Bountiful Redhawks, they won it all last year, their first state title in 21 years. Well, this year, the role has been a bit more of the underdog than the defending champ. Could they keep the ride going against the #1 team in Class 5A this week? Top-seeded West was hosting that upset-minded 9th-seeded Bountiful team. And in the first quarter, West quarterback Camden Lopati got going and got to work. A 7-yard touchdown pass to Mani Tuau. Then in the second quarter, it worked once. Why not again? Lopati to Tuau again, an 8-yard score, 14-3 West. The West defense had 3 picks in the game. They advanced to Rice-Eccles for the semifinals.
Springville hosting Box Elder. We go to the 4th quarter. Box Elder trailing by 8 when quarterback Caden Reyes sends this one deep. Landon Harding putting the Bees on the 5-yard line. That led to a 3-yard touchdown. The 2-point conversion was good. We had a tie ball game, but Springville would respond in a big way. Trayton Harris, with a run of his career, breaks through and punishes defenders. Oh my goodness, 38 yards for the touchdown. What a run. Springville would hold on from there to advance to the semifinals once again.
2-seed Fremont hosting 7-seed Brighton. Second quarter, Brighton leading 6-0 until Manasseh Tuatangaloa finds Celestia Moa. 15-yard touchdown. 7-6 Fremont at the half. Third quarter, Judah Valley makes a cut, goes 20 yards for the touchdown. Then in the fourth quarter, we have a big man touchdown here. Defensive lineman Sam Tauvau takes it 14 yards for Brighton, gets the upset, 27-14 over Fremont.
The 4-5 matchup is between Woods Cross and Orem. This one was all Tigers. Isanaliai, a pair of touchdown runs. This one went 37 yards for the score. 3 touchdowns on the ground for Orem. They win big, 35-7. Let's go to 4A, quarterfinals. Number 1 seed Ridgeline hosting Park City. Second quarter, Ridgeline already up 21-0. They're not done. Colton Clark picks off the pass. 22-yard pick six. It's 28-0. Ridgeline is crushing everyone this year. Just before halftime, Nate Dowley finds his lane, and he's going to go 55 yards for the score. His second rushing touchdown of the game. Ridgeline rolls once again. They advance to the semifinals, 49-3.
A couple of 4A Cinderellas, 14-seeded Green Canyon against 11th-seeded Skyline. 2 minutes to go in the game, 1-point game. Ethan Monk throws his 3rd touchdown pass of the game. Bryson Pabst on the receiving end, and they're up 28-20. Then with 3 seconds left, Xavier Kochi runs it in for Skyline. They need the 2-point conversion to force overtime, and they go for it, but it gets stuffed. Green Canyon wins on the road, 28-26.
Second-seeded Crimson Cliffs hosting 7th-seeded Stansbury. Late first quarter, no score. Stansbury changes that. Ladarius Rhodes makes a move and scores. 7-0 Crimson Cliffs ties it up. Tanawai Andreessen to Tyler Phillips, who toe taps it for the score. Third quarter, Mustangs up 7. Dedrick Moore with a 20-yard pick six. Crimson Cliffs scored 35 straight points. They will defend their title in the semis this week.
4-5 matchup here in 4A's between Provo and Hurricane. First quarter, Provo's down 6-0. Garrick Orchard out to Ronnie Wright, 17-yard score. It's a 7-6 Provo lead. Then in the second quarter, Provo with a 14-6 lead when Hurricane breaks off a big play. Brody Jacobs up the middle, goes 48 yards for the touchdown. That makes it a 1-point game, but Provo would then score back-to-back touchdowns late in the quarter, and that would be the difference. Provo winning 28-13. They'll get Ridgeline in the semis.
3A now, Morgan and Manti. Second quarter, Morgan up 7 when Manti's Stone Mortensen snatches the ball out of the air with one hand for the touchdown. Go to the third quarter, Manti leading 28-21. Morgan's Canyon Leonelli 7 yards up the gut for the score. We're tied at 28. But then Manti rattled off 14 unanswered. Carter Mason's 4th touchdown pass is a 62-yard dime to Ty Pringle. Manti upsets Morgan. We're going to have a new champ in 3A, 42-28.
Juab an undefeated Cedar in the other semifinal. Final seconds of the half. Cedar leading 3-0. The Reds quarterback, Evett Kelling, buys time, finds Slade Parsons at the goal line for the score. Then in the second half, Kelling's going to add a pair of touchdown runs as well. Reds led 23-0 at one point. They move on to face Manti in the title game.
Let's go to 2A. Number 4 Summit Academy facing number 1 San Juan. The Broncos dynasty rolls on. First quarter, San Juan already leading 8-0. Summit Academy's Preston Makoviak drops it in the bucket. That's a touchdown, 55 yards. Beckham Meredith. It's a 55-yard score, but then San Juan's going to go crazy after that. 43 straight points. Jagger Nieves had 4 rushing touchdowns, tying a state record for touchdowns in a season with 38. San Juan will play in the 2A state championship game.
They'll play the winner of the South Summit and South Sevier game. South Summit leading 6-0 in the second quarter. That's when Ian Mayer finds William Neff for the 23-yard touchdown. Then in the fourth quarter, Mayer, this time he keeps it himself. Right up the middle, 34-yard touchdown run. He had some nice blocks along the way. Wildcats shut out the Rams 34-0. They will play for the state championship next weekend.
Let's go to 1A. Semifinals, Duchesne and Beaver. Beaver leading 3-0 in the third when Max Albrecht makes a diving interception for the Beavers. What a play. It led to a 14-yard touchdown run. Duchesne answers in the third. Cade Thacker comes down with the ball for the score. Great catch. It's 10-7 Beaver. Fourth quarter. Dub Pender, what a name, gets ahead of steam and he's gone. 36 yards for the score. Beaver moves on, 24-14.
And the other semifinal game was between number 1 seeded Kanab and 4th seed North Summit. North Summit trailing 8-0 in the first. They pull out the trick play. This is the double reverse flea flicker. Crew Richens finds Knox Wolstenhulme. 46-yard touchdown on that play. Hayden Gubler had a pair of touchdown runs. This one here goes for 92 yards. Brogan Verosco threw for 3 touchdowns, and Kanab advances 43-19.
8-player semifinals. Monticello facing Milford. The Monticello Buckaroos score first on a 2-yard run by Landon Shumway to take a 6-0 lead, but Milford would pour it on then. Kaiser Merriweather would score 4 touchdowns in the game. And Boston Sullivan had 5 total touchdowns. And Milford puts 83 on the scoreboard. Bryson Barnes will be proud of his alma mater. A 59-point win to advance to the finals where they'll play Rich.
In the other 8-player semifinal, this was number 1 Rich against number 4 Whitehorse. This is how Rich got the win. They're up 6-0 in the second when quarterback Jet Holmes takes it, gets a nice block, and goes 76 yards for the score to build a 12-0 lead. Then with 40 seconds left in the half, Holmes would air it out this time and hits Carter Grohl in stride for a 44-yard touchdown for a 36-0 halftime lead. In the third quarter, Holmes already with 2 rushing scores, 3 passing scores now. He gets a receiving touchdown as well. Rich with the big win in this one, 50-8. We'll be right back. Here we are, championship week. Champions will be crowned in the lower classifications, and then, of course, the semifinals and upper classifications at Rice Eccles.
But before we move on, let's look back at this weekend with the Game Night Live highlight reel.